Theory, UFC wants Poirier to win and vacate BMF belt so they can use it for an Alex Pereira versus John retirement fight. We get Garn Aspinall for undisputed. Apparently they're going to do... No, they're not going to do that, dude. I don't think that's going to happen. Apparently Dana was saying that he still wants to do a BMF belt. No, a Jones versus Aspinall fight. That's happening, apparently. Humans love to hype up animals. 100 men would absolutely destroy a gorilla. National Geographic Channel and Joe Rogan brainwashed them. They do. Yeah, they love to hype up animals, chat, but don't realize that we too are animals, and there's a reason why we're at the top of the fucking food chain, and why all other animals fear us. Without empathy and pity, there would be no gorillas on Earth. You know what I mean? Without that, there would be none of them. They are very lucky that along with human superiority, we also developed empathy. Otherwise, there would be no gorillas. Straight up. Humans are nerfed. They have been nerfed. They have been nerfed, I agree. Humans have been nerfed for sure. But we are animals. And what we have been nerfed in, the knowledge of fighting has improved. Chat, yes or no? Back in 1066... or like, you know, Battle of Hastings times or something along these lines. You know what I mean? Back in fucking, even World War II, you know, 1945 or whatever it was. They weren't choking people out. I think choking people out is a very new thing in the world. I really think. Medieval era, all of those times... I really think they weren't choking people out as much. Or arm bars, you know, not wrenching Kimuras, you know. I don't think so. I think it was all strangles and bites and punching, you know, and clubbing with hands. Choking is a natural instinct. No, I think strangling is a natural instinct. Maybe not that far back. Maybe what I meant to say is like before Christ, you know, in those days. Before Christ, I don't think people were choking each other out like that. Your sarcastic commentary of Smith was so funny, as if he literally had 0% chance and we weren't watching a fight, just a guy getting paid to get beat up. Dude, I knew it was going to happen, so it was actually crazy. I was laughing hysterically at watching back the Smith fight with the commentary, dude. Because you know what I was doing? I was watching back the Smith fight, chat. And I was toggling the audio of the commentary and my audio of the stream. And they're being all serious on the commentary. And then I'd like mute it and play my stream. And I'd just hear me laughing my fucking ass off. And I'd go back to the commentary and they're hyping up Smith being tough. And then I'd cut back to my stream and I'm laughing again. Here he goes. He's doing it. He's crawling in a ball. Dude, they should have me as an option on commentary, dude. As a bit of an alternative flavor, I think. Just got you still salty about Gary? A little bit, yeah, but I'm more over it, dude. This happens a lot in the sport when I don't get what I want, so I'll be all right. Come to expect it now. Islam loses to a pig. All right, thank you for the 2. Impression of Bobby Green explaining why humans are the most superior animal. I mean, damn, come on. We can sweat, man. Thank you for the 12. That's true, actually. That is a big reason why we're very good. No animal beats a human in a long distance run, right? Is that true? I think that's true. Impression of Jubilee singing Island in the Sun. Our island in the sun, we are pulling, having fun. The polar bear stomps 100 men, superior cardio, maybe. How many Jinyu phrase to beat a gorilla? Not enough. There's no amount possible. Natives wiped buffalo with cliffs and shit. Yeah, but we don't know where the arena is. And crucifix, yeah. Greeks choked, of course. Yeah, but they were like a unique society of elites that were doing that type of shit. I seriously have an impression of history, chat, where although there was reading and writing, I think only 0.1% of people were actually doing that. I actually think back in the 1400s even, and the 1300s, and the 1200s, say let's go to 1150. I really think there are a lot of humans out there just going like, You know what I mean? I think that we were a lot more animalistic a lot later than we actually expect. A lot more animalistic than we actually expect. Even though I haven't heard that or like know it from anywhere. I just imagine that. Even though, you know, we look back in history and we say, dude, they were inventing the wheel. I don't think everyone was thinking, a wheel. I wonder what else we could figure out. I don't think anything like that. I think like one guy was like, dude, the wheel is kind of, we should maybe use the wheel. And he's trying to convince others to be at his level of genius, but he's lost. And a lot of other people are just like, no Jewish evolution tape. No, not Jewish evolution take. No. There was evolution, but I just think there's evolution within life as well. You know? And these guys just weren't taught anything. So many of them were just literally like hitting rocks together maybe in like the early ADs and the early ADs and BCs. I really think. Like just walking around grunting. I do think there were a lot of humans doing that. Nope. Dude, there are people on the world right now still in huts clicking to communicate. Now, in big 2025 chat, there's a large population of humans on Earth still in mud huts clicking their tongues to communicate with each other. What are you talking about? In the fucking ADs, the large majority of the world wasn't grunting and moving about. Come on, dude. Are you dumb? Like, seriously. Like, dude, back in the day, there was a large proportion of Earth that I think was incredibly dumb. Incredibly, incredibly dumb. Language? I think, honestly, like, language back in the day was a thing for the 1%. I honestly think so. Dude, I saw something today where like 11% of students in Chicago can't read. You're telling me that fucking the majority of humans couldn't fucking understand nearly anything back in the day? I genuinely think in humanity chat, 1% led the way and the other 99% were literally just along for the ride. I honestly think. 99% of humanity was just along for the ride in history. And 1% paved the way, which is why they were able to create such a power dynamic over the rest. I think so. Racial take? I'm not saying race. What the fuck? You can draw the conclusion, but I'm being serious. %. Oh, yeah, they can read. 11% can read, yeah. Past basic literacy and stuff like that. It's not I don't think they mentioned the race. They just said in Chicago. But I saw that as a headline today, like Chicago teacher. It was on Twitter. And I checked it. It was actually a fucking real thing. Like, dude, 11% in Chicago actually passed basic literacy and understanding. Lionheart versus Tony Ferguson. Shoes on in the GFL. Lionheart. Ferguson actually win that one, seriously. He cut him open, dude. Elbows. And Smith had just quit again. Who wins your Callum Bisping? Callum Bisping have fucked me up. Callum Bisping have fucked up most of chat. He's a big wrestler, dude. Where's this big talk when dinosaurs were roaming around? Coward humans. I don't think we were around at the same time. Back before Uncle Age was on meth. Okay. Who wins POIRIER versus Ming Yang? I don't know. Thank you for the 2. Will Smith be inducted? Oh, POIRIER would beat Ming Yang Shang. Will Smith be inducted into the Ball of Shame? Yes. What would happen if Smith fought an armadillo? The armadillo would respect him and make him the king of its tribe. Comment to OnlyFans girls. They are aging gracefully. Okay, true. True. Or tell them that you're proud of them transitioning. Impression of Aspinall, but he's Shrek. Get out of my fucking swamp, mate. Guru, who do we have left that can knock Ian out? Joaquin Buckley, dude. JDM. There's a few. Lionheart versus Tony Ferguson. I've already read it. Used to be like 90% farmer. I think so. We didn't accept Germans existed until 1880. Honestly, dude. I swear to God, dude. 1% of humans just sort of paved the way, I think. Do you think Lucas Tracy beats a Spartan in MMA? Sure. Thank you for the 2. Yeah. I think that we could beat Spartans, yeah. Would you be a pleb or a lord in 1100 AD? But this is more of a take on, do you think that Tom Aspinall could, you know? Obviously. Would you be a pleb or a lord in 1100 AD? I'd be a lord, I reckon. Sind you porked 2 of them? Serious question. What was the procedure parliamentary? It was parliamentary procedure. Mud Hutters have a better animal KD ratio, though. They do, to be fair. Not really, though. I've eaten like fucking 50 million chickens, mate, in my time. I just had fucking 2 chicken legs today. Easy. So I don't know if I'm at least getting assists. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the 2. People think today, or I'm at least getting the XP from it, even though someone's else getting the kill. You know, it's like a squad wipe. People think today is the worst time in history. I mean, we're getting there, but no, we're not. In medieval times, there was wrestling and a lot of weapon-based martial arts in Europe too. And BC, there was pancration in Greece. I guess so. But that's a small percentage of the earth, you know? Thank you for the 5. Have you started reading the Bible? Yeah, I read a couple of Psalms. Do you think people were like feral? I do think that feral humans existed up until quite recently, yeah. A lot of them did. I think feral humans exist now. Not borderline. Like, genuinely borderline feral humans exist now. So I think a lot of the soldiers in World War II were just fucking like fucking ready to fucking sprint into fucking guns. You know what I mean? And bullets. Even medieval era, just sprinting into spears and arrows. I think there was a lot of the army just like that. Reading was a luxury. Speaking language was common. Thank you for the $3 Australian. Speaking a language was common, I imagine, but not as we know it now. More basic, you know. Those people clicking in huts don't have gender identity crisis, drug crisis, suicide crisis. They're happy and look at us as tards. All right, they're in a hut. Thank you for the $5, dude. Are you in a hut, J. Ray Ruiz, and I've struck a nerve? Or are you holding a fucking aerial out the fucking window to try and get a signal for your donation? What the fuck do you mean? I'm not being offensive. I'm just saying, dude, right now there's people in huts. You think people weren't like that back in the day? JDM and Buckley need to save us from the harsh reality of Garry versus Brady for the belt. True. They do. Smith has the best chance of surviving bear attack. Been training his curl up in a ball defense hard. He has. Impression of Dillashaw breaking into Anthony Smith's house telling him that you'll never be a champion. What are you doing on the ground? You're attacking my family. Leon's a point fighter. He had fewer strikes than Izzy Cannonier in every title defense. True. JDM brings volume and chaos and more to deal with for Bilal. I think so as well. Even if Jones versus Aspinall doesn't happen, the biggest missed opportunity for us fans was Ian Garry not showing up to the 296 press conference. It was. I actually made him sick in the build-up. True, you had humans glazing a motherfucker for saying, I think, therefore I am. Exactly. He was the genius of their time. NPCs of today are far more intelligent than NPCs from the past. Very true. Dude, I think NPCs of today are like far more intelligent than like... I think thinking, I think, therefore I am, as a good take, makes you an NPC. So I think even the NPCs of today in modern society are more smarter than the geniuses of before. Silver's legacy is poor competition, and Izzy is tainted by the losses and lame fights. Dricus beats Hamzat and will have names with finishes. And he'll have names with finishes. True, he will. Thank you for the $6 Australian. Ngannou murked a girl in a bike accident. Check it. Well, I don't know. What's up from Vegas? Most over-under rated fighters ever. Nick's still coming back. Don't be scared, homie. I don't want him to come back. Most over-underrated fighters ever. Oh, I don't know, man. Overrated, I think that Jones is. Khabib. You know what I saw, chat? They're posting these things on Twitter now, these TikTok comment sections. Someone had this... Oh, no, I saw it on Twitter, dude. I actually saw this on Twitter. Goats of their sport where it's not even close. Okay? One of the top replies was just listing all these different sports and who's the GOAT, and it's not even close. They had Khabib in there. Top liked. Khabib is just not even close. He's the GOAT. Honestly, Khabib is the most overrated fighter ever. He was great, but dude, not enough. Bilal is underrated, I agree, resume-wise. So is Marab. People ain't calling him the GOAT yet, when he is, of bantamweight. And you know what, chat? I'm going to fucking say it. Dominic Cruz is kind of overrated. Honestly, man. Honestly. Why do you care so much about some random... Because I'm just having fun on stream. It's good to care about things. No one talks about how Jake Paul killed Mike Perry. He did destroy Mike Perry. If Dricus beats Hamzat, how many wins until the middleweight goat? All right, chat. Yes or no? If Dricus beats Hamzat and then the winner of Imavov versus Baralho or something along those lines, he immediately has an argument to middleweight goat status. Because that would be his run up the top where he got the Tavares and the Brunson and, you know, the wins in the unranked area as well. Then he would have Whitaker, Strickland, Adesanya, Strickland, Chimaev, Imavov or Baralho. That'd be a hell of a resume. Maybe it'd be in a conversation. Darren Till as well is a decent win. But those are all big names. You know, Dricus has had a nice career for himself where he's actually been like nicely put in position to get a lot of the big names, you know? And Chimaev, I honestly think, chat, yes or no, think back through Anderson Silva's career. I don't want to say a very casual thing right now, but Hamzat Chimaev is, in my opinion, more dangerous than any win Anderson Silva has on his record. That is more impressive than any win Anderson Silva has on his record. Honestly. Like, Hamzat Chimaev is the equivalent, legacy-wise, in my opinion, of Chris Lieben, you know, Franklin, I don't know. These names, Patrick Cote. He's the equivalent of like a lot of those names bunched together, I think, in terms of how dangerous he is as a fighter. What about Forrest Griffin? I mean, there you go. That's the argument, right? That was literally the mind I was thinking of. Like, who's his best win? Or maybe a Forrest Griffin could be a better win. You know? Chael. Yeah, Chael, true. I forgot about Chael. Damian Maya. Yeah, they barely even fought. But yeah. Pay-per-view's expensive, dude. I owe you. Impression of Gay Connor. Somebody fucking sniff a line out me gooch, mate. I don't know. I think give it a 2.